Hey guys, good morning. It's a pleasure to sit here, to be here. We are missing Doc. Doc,
Doc, I think he went down to grab something and he's coming back.
It's bad timing.
yeah, sorry for that. My name is Clemen. I am the co-founder of Bolis and the CEO of Metacourt. And I would also like for Ole and Tom to introduce themselves, who they are, what they are doing, and how they are connected with the NFTs and sports. Ole, please.
All right. Well, it's a pleasure being here, of course. First, thanks to Clement for the invitation and being part of this panel. It's very exciting, and my name is Ole Martin. I'm the founder and CEO of Sporting Global. You can kind of think about us as a LinkedIn for sports. It's a digital community to help people in the sport industry to find a sports career. We're connecting and partnering with some of the best universities out in the field, Real Madrid Graduate School, Johan Cruyff Institute, University of San Francisco, and then, of course, we're helping sports organizations within sports technology, startups, clubs, leagues, in order to recruit and find the best possible people. And that's what we're going to talk about. How is especially NFTs, and then blockchain and stuff. It's important for the new generation of upcoming sports leaders. So that's my take on things.
So my name is Tom. I just crashed this party because I'm not on the list there. I'm replacing Joshko. He was supposed to be here, but I'm a founder of Metacourt and also co-founder of Bolis. My crypto world started in 2015, so I was early in the market. We were just mining Ethereum with our friends when it had a staggering price of $2 per ETH. And then I started the Swiss startup, which was called back in the day Blocksport One in 2019. It was sports and Web3. And since then, we've done a few amazing projects, the most successful being Bolis, which was a collab with Crypto.com and sports gaming platform. And Metacourt is going on. It's registered in Switzerland. We are continuing our business in Web3, doing different projects like Bolis, as I mentioned, with Crypto.com, with Algorand, with Moonbeam, with many other blockchains. It's been great. It's going on. And now we have a bear market, but let's see what happens next.
Okay, so Doc also join us. Doc, please tell us who you are, what you are doing, how you are connected with sports and also with NFTs.
Yes, my name is Doc Gums, and I've been a professional athlete in bodybuilding for the last maybe 12, 15 years now. I've won several titles. I've been like on ESPN, Men's Health, Times Papers, and I can now see that the NFT space is becoming an interest to athletes, and it has so much new opportunities in terms of capturing back athletes' rights and a new marketing and revenue stream for athletes. Yeah.
Amazing. So now you have a little bit of understanding who we are and what we are doing in the space. Let's first talk about this NFT boom that happened in the past year and in connection with sports also. So Tomasz, because you're the most familiar with it, what was the driver? What are the main developments that you think that came out of this NFT boom in connection with sport?
Yeah, I think I would say that the last bull market on NFTs especially, it started from sports, I would say, because we had Dapper Labs in the US, and they came up with an amazing platform, Top Shot, NBA Top Shot. It was really a great solution. They invested a lot of money, of course, because they got collaboration with NBA on this one. And Dapper Labs is the company behind the early NFTs from 2017 that were called CryptoKitties. And Dapper Labs started NBA Top Shot. It was a complete craziness. Then the other companies followed, like Sorare. I think it's a French company, but I'm not sure.
It is.
They attacked football market, and they wanted to create fantasy football game, but also collectibles like Panini cards, digital Panini cards. So that was also for a while. It was a very successful product. However, now in the bear market, it went down a bit. Also for Top Shot. But I think these companies started this NFT craziness, and then others joined, big stars like Tom Brady, and Gary Vee also joined with his sports initiatives, and this is how it started in 2020, 2021, I would say.
Okay, and now coming to this point, and this is something that you will tell us more about, Ole. So now we all know that we are in the bear market. It's the fact. And Tomasz mentioned, let's say, Dapper Labs. So Dapper Labs, I believe, in the peak of the interest, they had like 250 million monthly revenue, okay? And they fell down to, I believe, 2 million and a half. So they need to fire a lot of people. Ole, you're in the space of jobs. How do you see this? Is this something also that is resembling from Web3 space to Web2 space? People losing the jobs? Is there like how it is in Web2 space comparing to Web3? Because now, like I said, Web3 space is suffering a lot.
Yeah, I mean, like it's a good question, and first and foremost, the sport industry job market has been hit pretty hard when it comes to the pandemic. Obviously, innovation technology is impacting it both in a positive and negative way. Especially the outcome for a lot of professional teams, a lot of organizations obviously had to look to innovation and technology in order to create new job opportunities, while obviously laying off more traditional staff. And I think one of the key things here, and why I guess in a sense I'm sitting in this panel too, is that we need to help educate more of the younger generation and the younger audience about where the job opportunities are coming and where the opportunities are lying, right? And so for them, they often think about, okay, I want to work for Barcelona. We're in Barcelona, so it's a good example to use. But imagine how many students that are studying sports business, sports technology, and they want to work for Barcelona. But again, as everyone knows, Barcelona is struggling quite financially as well, out of many different reasons. And that puts us in a position where if you want to work in sports, you need to look at the entire market. That includes Web3, Web2, it includes NFTs, it includes sports technology startups. And obviously, I think you will see a shift in the new generation going more of a digital route, technology route, data, analytics. You see it already happening in terms of what the kind of tools and requirements are needed. But you also see it in the educational space in terms of what kind of programs are being offered for the next generation. Our job as sort of like the middleman is coming in here and helping both the universities and the students to understand, okay, bringing in guest speakers from the NFT, blockchain, crypto space as well, for the students to learn. Because if they don't know about it, how are they going to be able to enter it? And so that's, I think, is a very key factor as well.
I think you mentioned one thing that is really important, and that is definitely education. So how I see what is happening at the moment is like a big reset of the whole market, of the whole space that we are in now. So no more easy money grabs, no more easy speculations, but we need to educate ourselves. Ole, I know that you were in World Football Summit not too long ago, like 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Tell us also from the perspective of Web2 space or industry leaders in football, how much were they talking about Web3, blockchain, crypto, NFTs over there? so that we can see if the space or the industry is moving towards, let's say, Web3.
Yeah, I mean, like it's World Football Summit. Obviously, there's a lot of different kind of stakeholders, both big and small in the industry, obviously participating. And I think World Football Summit, obviously, credit where credit is due, where they obviously, have a nice variety of topics and looking always ahead. They're very innovative in terms of who they're bringing in to speakers, who they're bringing in as organizations and partners. And so there's a lot of great potential in terms of the Web3 space, but as being in the sport industry for quite some time, I see as well that the industry sometimes, especially on the business side of things, it takes a bit of time for them to adjust and utilize it. And it's the same on the educational field, but it's definitely a lot of possibilities there. And I saw it multiple stands and booths at World Football Summit that were focusing on the Web3 NFT space and multiple panels as well. So it's definitely an area where the football industry is focusing on, and they want to again learn more about what's happening there and then try to help educate the industry, right? And then also you have like the big old question mark. There's a lot of, perhaps I would say, old leaders in the football industry, traditional leaders, and sometimes that takes time to also educate them, right? It's a new market, it's a new way of thinking business, it's a new way of utilizing sports as a tool for technology and innovation and Web3. And so there's always a fine balance, right? And that's why I think it's more important to focus on learning the new generation. For those are, after all, the ones that are going to be the upcoming leaders. Those are the ones that are going to take over those roles, maybe in 10, 15, 20 years. So they need to learn this now and understand how I can bring value, going into a sports organization or a company right away. And that's where I think the key differences lie.
Ole, thank you for this great insight. Doc, going to you. So tell us more from your perspective. So one is as an investor, and another is that from the perspective of developer builder. So I know that you're doing something in NFT sports industry. Tell us more about that, what you're doing.
Yeah, so right now, I'm actually looking at how we could actually help athletes that are coming into the space and also existing athletes to have more visibility in terms of like using the NFT platforms out there, but also to help them to have more of their content as their own. Okay, a lot of people are looking at NFTs as a quick way to make money. Sure, it's a great way to make money because it's a new revenue stream, but what we need to actually add to NFTs right now is the utility behind. So by adding the utility behind the NFT now, you are able to give that NFT more value. Now, if you have an athlete that develops a certain amount of NFTs and gives maybe several of those NFTs access to maybe coming to watch a football game, that would be really, really great. And maybe going to play golf with him or going to go-kart or something like that, or going to the gym. So having stuff like this would actually give the NFTs more value. Also, what I don't see a lot of people talking about is that how NFTs, could actually like be a negotiating tool for athletes that are coming up. So, for example, if Lewis Hamilton, Messi, or David Beckham, imagine if they were documenting every bit of their journey from the time they was like 7 years old, and every bit of their journey was like put into special NFT rare moments of him, for example, Messi scoring his first goal, or Tiger Woods making his first swing, winning at a, say at a child's level, at a, junior champion or something like that. I think by these upcoming athletes using NFTs as a marketing tool for them, when they actually come time to, say, for example, sign with a major league team, they actually have a quite a good bargain. You understand? Because during that time, they probably would have made like several millions of dollars, and they could actually negotiate a good, payment package for themselves. So I see NFTs going quite big, actually, where we might even see the opening up for NFT agencies where just that just specifically target to up-and-coming athletes. And existing athletes, for example, myself, I'm an existing athlete. I'm a world champion fitness athlete. I could also use the NFT space for getting more publicity out there and using that as a marketing tool. So, for example, if I'm getting ready for a show, maybe the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic or the World Championships in Las Vegas or something like that, and my shows in the next year or two, I could create a certain amount of NFTs for my fans out there that would like to come to my event and see me display, and for those that pay maybe a higher tier for my NFTs, they get to come backstage. So this is actually like a really great marketing tool for existing athletes, and I think that moving forward, we're gonna see a lot more new ways of where NFTs can be used, just like electricity. It's in our phones now, from a light bulb, and it's in LEDs, it's in our watches. So NFTs are, I think we're just at the tip of the iceberg of what their true potential could possibly be like.
So Doc mentioned few interesting things. One is definitely utility. Another thing that we people like is collectibles. So we are collecting things, and the third thing is this community around, let's say, star athlete that he can build around. Tomasz, we did many things especially with Metacourt. And since we are like in this private environment, maybe we can also talk a little bit about trial and errors. So what we can all say, what was the biggest hit and where we make a lot of money, but at the end of the day, thinking about the past and what we did, we also made a lot of mistakes, or we thought that it's going to be like a huge thing, and it played out that it was like real disaster. So Tomasz, tell the audience a little bit more about that.
Yeah, sure. So look, crypto space is trial and error. And for the last couple of years, we had many projects that were good, amazing, or bust completely. And I think timing is the most important thing, and a bit of luck and the great idea behind it as well. And some traction that you can get through your networking, through partners, and unfortunately also through money, because a lot of projects, they get traction because there is money behind, and they got the right seat in the right time. So for Metacourt, adding to what Doc said, we also are looking for collaborations with athletes. From a bit different angle at the moment. So there is a huge opportunity in the US. It's 500,000 NCAA athletes and their NIL rights, its name, image, and likeness, because now all the college laws in relation to NIL relaxed, and athletes can represent themselves. And for that, you can basically also produce something in relation to their rights, and they can sell them. They can sell autographs. They can form companies. They can also engage their funds in different utility. And we are trying to catch this flow as well. So not only collectibles, colorful things, pictures. As NFTs, but also some more advanced stuff. We tried last year with few athletes from Canada and from the US, also from Balkan area, but it didn't catch any traction. Maybe the timing was not right. Maybe we didn't do the marketing in the right way, but also at that time many big companies came in, and we are just a small startup still from Switzerland, and all of a sudden you have this amazing idea, you have few athletes, young generation, very talented, and you want to push them to the market. But you see that Tom Brady is coming in with his product and he's pumping millions of dollars into the autograph portal, and then Gary Vee is coming with and attacking baseball space, and you say, "Oh, I just can't compete with this," and you are trying to create some sort of degen project that maybe be appealing to the crowd and will sell without like huge millions pumped in, but you're not successful in the end, and okay, you say it's busted project. Let's move forward. That's why, for instance, at the moment we are approaching this because we still believe it's a lot of opportunities in the market. We're trying to approach this from different angle. What we did, we've signed recently with Hedera blockchain, and we will be creating the DAO launchpad for companies, for individuals. So DAO is decentralized organization, so they will be able to create DAO through around their community, around their persona, around their company, and address and produce the NFTs or DAO tokens for the fans, for the partners. So we're trying to grab it from different angle, but that's one of the examples that not everything is there, and of course, not everything is there in a way you imagine, and of course. In the press headlines, we hear all the success stories, but there are always so many, unfortunately, unsuccessful projects. The point here is just to probe the market, not to go full in, but go step by step and see if your ideas work. And then check it. Of course, every idea and every implementation is required some capital, and this is the problem, because you have one or the second project that doesn't sell, and then all of a sudden you have a problem. But this is the crypto space, unfortunately. I would say the most important part is networking and getting someone who can believe in your idea and who can lift you up, as we did with Bolis, where we were searching for the right partner, and then we found Crypto.com with the huge follower count. And that was a massive success because we sold our NFTs that users can use in the game at the moment. And it was a $2 million sale in 10 minutes. So we had 10,000 NFTs at 5,000 buyers in the end, and we lined up on our whitelist 60,000 people. So it was pretty quick, but it was much easier when we had Crypto.com behind us and us as their flagship project in 2022.
We will talk more about Bolis a little bit later on. Doc, since you are also managing director of Global Capital Asset Management, tell us more also about the investment side. What you're doing there? How do you assess these investments into the NFTs and sports?
Yes. So right now, before you invest in any project, you want to do your full due diligence. You want to make sure that the team is, who they say they are. Make sure that everything is buttoned up nice and tight. Being in the crypto space since 2017, I've got my share of, knocks on the chin for just blindly, investing in projects and, losing money, basically. So now taking a more serious, more seasoned approach towards investing. And now that I've had my experience in the space, I'm looking at developing my own project right now in the blockchain, in Web3 around NFTs. Decode is the name, and right now we are just in the final stages of putting, most of the business plan and white paper together. But moving forward now, I would still be looking at investing in potential startups, potential projects that have a really good roadmap and vision. And I think anyone getting into the Web3 space should also not just go with the hype, but also do their own due diligence and make sure that whatever they are investing in is actually, has a good leg to stand upon. So, yeah.
And how do you do this due diligence? So what is the most important thing for you? Is this like the project, the team? How do you assess?
Yeah, so if I'm going to get involved in a project, it's looking at the team. What their background is like. Have they been successful in the past with anything? Because basically, by looking at the past, you could basically almost tell the future of what their potential is going to be, and who are they associated with. Uh, what's the experience in this field? Like, how long have they been in this field? And what are they looking to build that is actually going to be world changing? Is it a niche area that they're going into? Is it a blue ocean opportunity that they're actually capturing? And by myself actually and a few other people able to look at what a project is doing and where it's going, we can feel I guess more comfortable making certain investments. Now, doesn't say that it's not going to fail, but what you want to do, you want to sort of like put more of the potential of it winning than failing. Yeah.
For sure. Oleg, going back to you, in regards to the job market, industry, and the team combining everything together. So tell us a little bit more about people or the right holders that are brands that are hiring in the space. How important is for people to have like a formal education, or it's like more important to have different kind of knowledge, let's say on the field, now that we are talking about Web3 space? How is connection here?
Yeah, I mean, like it's really comes down to a little bit about what kind of market and departments you're entering, of course. But it's clear that having a basic education in the field, and you see it as well being more specific into the different kind of topics, like being analytics, being business or administration or technology. You see a more narrow-minded approach, not narrow-minded, but more specific approach, and obviously that tailored down to what kind of roles the companies are recruiting. Like I said, there are a vast focus on technology-specific roles and how especially it impacts the fans. So obviously, if you look at sports fans, obviously NFTs and cryptos and Web3 comes into place quite rapidly in the big organizations. And so you can't, go into the industry today just with the educational background. Like it's honestly not enough in today's market. You need to get your experience, and the earlier you get your foot in the door, taking relevant courses, for instance, as we might talk about as well, on more specific inside knowledge about what is actually happening in the organizations and how they can solve these problems. Those are where they're kind of like the real value is. The experience comes down. Like, yes, it's great having that foundation, because a lot of the foundation that you build it creates that pathway for you, but it's not enough. You need to be in the market. You need to, even if it's volunteering, even if it's internships, getting your foot in the door and we say this a lot too, go into working for a startup, get that experience, understanding what it's like being in a sports startup or sports tech startup. If you want to work in technology in Real Madrid or Barcelona or a big stakeholder, I mean, like, get your foot in the door, and you can't necessarily start at that big organization. And a lot of the good things about these opportunities is that often they have some, of course, synergies. They have maybe partnerships or stakeholders to these different kind of big names or big organizations that might trickle into a new pathway for you. So I would highly say that of course the basic foundation, and you will see more specific education happening in terms of specialization in the field of sports. It will definitely happen, and it's already happening, from football management to coaching management to sports technology, sport analytics is already happening. People will go more on taking courses and programs that are tailoring down towards our route. But all the big stakeholders in the industry are prioritizing technology and new innovation, things that are bringing additional value for their primary target market, whether that is fans, whether that is clients, and whatever is bringing in the revenue or the people to the stadium in that case.
And since I know your company, at least a little bit, you can tell us also a little bit more about what are your solutions to that issue or that challenge that you mentioned
Yeah.
now.
So one of the things that we saw as a huge problem in the industry, and obviously I touched a little bit upon it, is that a lot of the students and a lot of the people that wants to work in sports, they perhaps they might take their bachelor degree or even a master degree in sport management. And obviously, I'm not going to slaughter the entire educational sector because there's a lot of good programs there and there's a lot of great ways where they're helping their students. But one of the common challenges is that once they're done with school and they're going into their first or second job, they often kind of don't have that knowledge of what are the problems and challenges these organizations are facing. And so one of the ways that we solved that was that we essentially ended up creating the Sporting Global Academy. And so that's digital mini courses that we're doing with sports organizations, sports tech, even Ballies, in the space of learning, applying, and earning NFTs in the sport industry. And that's essentially for these people that wants to work in the field to get to understand more what are the real life challenges, the scenarios, the problems that these organizations are facing. So whenever they're going to take that step of applying for, say, they want to work with Ballis, it's a huge advantage having this course. Obviously, you get a certificate as well, but it brings you a better understanding of, okay, I know more about the space. I have a better understanding that some of my peer students, and for Ballis and for organizations, it's a good way for them as well to kind of like validate in the recruitment process, because now they can kind of see, okay, yeah, you did your education in sport technology, you're interested, you attended maybe some volunteering in the Web3 and NFT space, and then you did this course in addition, and hence that creates you guys to make that better recruitment decision. And our job as Sporting Global is, of course, helping the students, but also officiating the recruitment process in sports, because sports is a very passionate, driven industry. So a lot of people that want to be in the sport industry, and it creates a very high competition, and there's a lot of people that wants to get in, and hence it creates a challenge on both sides. And the Sporting Global Academy just becomes like an add-on, right? It's not to kind of take away the education, because education is important, but it's like an add-on, it's in order to help you get one step closer and learning the things that you don't get taught in school. And I think that's where it's like a really important lesson, because there's a lot of things in there, and we know that for all of us that have been in the sports space, I'm sure some of you as well have been there and are there, where there's a lot of lessons that you don't really know until you're in there, and you're working for that organization, and you're knocking down challenges and problems, and you're like, whoa, I did not expect this at all. So if there's a way where we can help these students just get a head start, understanding, what are the things they need to do. And with Ballis, right, it's literally, a 4 to 8 hours course, a digital course. We can learn about, okay, learn, apply, and earn with NFTs in sports. It gives you the baseline to make smarter decisions and understanding, whoa, is this actually a space for me? 2, now I have the knowledge where I can bring value directly to perhaps Ballis or other organizations, of course, in the space. And 3rd, be in a much better position to actually get a job in the field that you're passionate about. And if we do that, I'm gonna sleep like a baby.
Such a strong point from you. And what I'm thinking is also, we can see a lot of fakes in this space, so we need to be very careful with whom we are dealing. And another thing that you are doing and that can be also applied to Web3 space is definitely this mentorship program, because basically you validate the mentor at the end of the day, and then mentor is the one who did something in the space and can give this valuable advice, valuable guidance to, let's say, students or people who are seeking this knowledge, advice, so on. So maybe you can also tell us a little bit more about this mentorship program.
Yeah, the mentorship program was another initiative we do in order to help students, again, get a better chance of, the key challenges: networking, knowledge, and experience, right? It's the 3 main challenges of entering in the sports space. And so the mentorship program was a way for us to obviously, create a 4-month program for people that want to be in sports, where essentially match you with a mentor. Obviously, we have a pool of great mentors in our space that we obviously talk with. We check them. We're making sure that they are what they're saying and that they do the due diligence that the doc is talking about, right? We got to do the same thing with our mentors. And more importantly, we take the time as well to talk with each mentee that are applying on this program. Sit down, talk with them for an hour. Like, what are your goals? What are the industry you want to be part of? What are the space you're looking to explore? Trying to understand their needs and their challenges. And once we do that, we're matching them with the right kind of mentor. And they spend the next 4 months on weekly meetings with them, working dedicated one-on-one sessions, group sessions as well with all the other mentees that are in that season. And we had now 2 very successful seasons, double our numbers. We're going to release season 3 in the new year as well. And we have big plans and big goals. And that's another part as well to help these students, right? If you want to work with NFTs in sports, well, what's a better way to get your own personalized mentor from the space to utilize that for the next 4 months, building your network, building your knowledge, getting your experience in the door, and hence, being in much better position to succeed. So we're always trying to find ways in order to help both sides of the industry, and of course, helping both the NFT space, to create more awareness. I know a lot of the challenges in the crypto space too is, if you're not in that bubble, it's might be a bit challenging coming in, understanding how it essentially works. So it just creates that, it limits the distance, right, between those that wants to, utilize this either directly, working with NFTs, working in the Web3 space, or those that, understand that, okay, if I want to be a leader for like a big sports organization one day in, 15, 20 years, these are some of the things I need to know and look into already now. And that's going to put me in a much better position and reach that goal.
So, Ole, what you're saying is that it takes time
to
go from here to here.
Who knew? Who knew?
Okay. Tomasz, going back to you, and then Doc will also add upon it because he was also touching the base with utility and some other things about NFTs. So you mentioned Bollis, you mentioned this 10 minutes, $2 million revenue and 5.5 millions on secondary market. But how is this possible? You mentioned crypto.com, but definitely it has to do something with the utility behind. How can you convince people to buy your NFT, to invest in you, to trust you, and how can you then build upon this trust, so you don't lose those people are not going out of the project?
Yeah, sure. So in terms of Bollis, of course, the final sale was a big success, but going into this project took a lot of effort. We had some proven track of record before working with big blockchains, and we started this project, but we started it from the scratch. There was one very talented artist behind from Slovenia, with some also proven track record. He was the Cannes Lion
Young Lion Cannes Award winner. Yeah.
Winner. So that the designs of Bollis were very catchy and nice, but there was also a ton of utility because in the end we didn't produce only collectibles that you just bought a picture or your character, your avatar, and you couldn't do anything with this. And this is also a part of the industry problem where projects do not have this secondary push. So they create something, and in the end, okay, you're buying a JPG file, and what can you do with this? And some are valued very well, like Bored Apes, but some go to zero. So what we did for Bollis, and that was also the process of convincing Crypto.com, and just to be very clear, we didn't know Crypto.com before we started the project. It wasn't like we had some great networking with them and they knew us and it was so easy to get there. No, we were just pitching like any other company. Clement did a great job there, and basically he approached one of their NFT manager on LinkedIn.
It's all right. It's all right.
She's not working on sports, so I guess if she did, she would be on your platform.
Yeah.
Yeah, we approached her and we showed the project. She liked it, but then it was a multi-step process. So we had to prove the utility is right, that we are all doxed, we don't hide our faces, we have some business done before, and everything is crystal clear. And then in the end, we got the support from Crypto.com. And Crypto.com is one of the biggest exchange in the space at the moment. They are sponsors of LA Lakers. They do business with LeBron James, having and investing into into his foundation for young athletes. And our Bolis project was also basketball. This is basketball because these avatars that people were buying, now they will be able to use in the game. It's a sports strategic card game, like Yu-Gi-Oh! Magic the Gathering style card game. And you basically use your avatar and you play with your Boli and you try to outscore your opponent in the basketball card game. It's pretty cool, I hope. We already released alpha game for our community, so it's not like we don't have a product. Alpha release was 2 months ago. The reception was very positive. Now we are working on the public game, and it will probably come in 5 to 6 months. But yes, we put a lot of utility behind, and we also engage and convince investors. I don't like this word, but yes, people who bought our NFTs, that they will get something more. It's still entertainment. Of course, sports is, and gaming industry is, but what is more powerful here in this space is that people can get something back from you. So this game is also play to earn, and it's done in a way that whoever has NFT will be able to participate in earning token by playing the game or by allowing other users to use their character as a copy in the game. And also the part of the tokens from other users will go back to that person, the original holder. So we have a lot of utility around our NFTs being play to earn and this lend to earn mechanism that I mentioned, but also a lot of stuff and perks outside of the game. So we have ambassadors from NBA, and we organize meetings with them. So all our NFT holders, they can jump in on sessions. We call them locker room talks, and they can talk with NBA guys. And there is much more special promotions for merch or airdrops and stuff like that. So this is it. It's very important to have this utility around your project, but it's never easy. You need to have something appealing to people. In our case, I would say very good organization and very good pitch for Crypto.com, and later on a very strong community builders. This is the key. So when you have this first traction, it's very hard to keep people on your project. First of all, there is a big competition, still small market, but with a lot of competition. So people tend to jump to other projects because it's very speculative as well. Some they buy your NFTs because they want to be part of the project. Some just want to flip them. So they buy, sell, jump somewhere else. So this is the key, to keep all this community with the nice utility, with your project that is developing. You need to show it, and also you need to engage them on every stage. And yeah, it's challenging with crypto people because their span of attention is very, very quick and fast, and then they want to move forward somewhere else, maybe make money somewhere else. So you need to have this community core that will then expand more and more. They need to just see the value long term.
And for me, what was also interesting is that they really like the idea that we are doing Crypto.com, Yusuf Nurkic, who is an NBA star from Portland Trailblazers, and us doing initiative together. So we are rebuilding basketball courts. So 5% of the whole proceeds went to his foundation, and now we are rebuilding that. And our community feels really connected to all of us, you know, because basically it's their money, and now they are helping to rebuild basketball courts. And imagine, because Crypto.com Arena in LA, imagine the path that some of these young guys might go from, let's say, from Bosnia, from small town, from the court of Yusuf Nurkic Crypto.com Foundation to let's say LA Lakers, and they feel really connected with that. But Doc, you were talking about the utility. Tell us more, you know, based on what, let's say, Tom said, how would you add up on it, you know, what you are trying to do with your project, with how can we even build upon it? Because we, as Polis or Metacourt, we are always looking for the best possible cases where we can find the new best thing that is happening in the space. How can we invent something? So what is your take on it?
So my take would be pretty simple. You first got to know your community, know who you are marketing your NFTs to, right? And by having certain amount of research done, you'll be able to develop certain products and services that could be added to the NFT as utility. Also, you have to speak to the individuals or the companies that you're making the NFTs for. So, for example, if I'm making an NFT with LeBron James, I would like to know what are you willing to give in exchange for, you know, utility. So, are you willing to do 1,000 NFTs a year? And are these 1,000 NFTs, are they able to last at least maybe 2 or 3 years, where they could be potentially traded, where we can actually make money, but also give other people that missed out on the opportunity to not get these exclusive NFTs a chance to, you know, maybe be purchased on the secondary market, basically. So you have to first know your community, know what they really want, right? Then you talk to the company or the individual that you're making the NFTs with, and come up with a game plan of how you can make them happy. How can you add so much benefit that they just don't want to flip it and go to the next NFT or go to the next platform. So it's all a strategy, basically, and the strategy should be about how can you add so much value that your NFT is not just a pump and dump. It's actually something that people want to hold dear, like an arm. You wouldn't want to lose your arm. So how can you instill that same desire to want to hold on to something that's super, super valuable? And again, that's coming from knowing your community, knowing what they really, really want, adding tremendous amount of benefits in there that they'd be like, oh my God, if I lose out on this right now, I mean, even though I'm selling it now, I'm up 10x. I mean, the chances of this going to maybe 100x is probably even greater. So I'm actually scared to sell it. You know, you want to put them in that predicament where they are almost like forced to hold the NFT because of the value is so great. So yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
So what Doc is saying is also something that I see a lot in the space. And this is that you're always catching or trying to catch this balance between speculation and the real utility. So like he's saying, you know, if something goes up 10x, 100x, this is something that is then hard not to sell, to make the profit on it, you know. On the other hand, you want to create such a value for your holders that they don't want to sell. And then you basically win, because then the secondary market or the floor price is pretty high. Since we are like 10 minutes away of the whole hour and you are with us, I would also like to give you the opportunity. If there are any questions from you as the listeners, please, if you can address the question and we can answer it in the last 10 minutes, if anybody has any questions. No?
Don't be shy, guys. Come on. We're happy to answer everything, even bad stuff.
Even bad stuff, of course. Or you can also come to us at the end, and
Yeah.
we can talk one-on-one, not a problem. Okay, so to wrap things up, how do you see this space, Ole, moving forward? And how can you, as Sporting Global, connect Web3 to NFTs? Or how are you connecting already? Because I know you are.
Yeah. I mean, like it's a very interesting space, especially for the sports market. It's a big shift already happening, but it takes time, right? And I think it's one of the key lessons you need to think about this from a sports perspective is it takes time, and you see a lot of innovation, rapid movement, especially on the athlete forefront side of things. You know, often you see more speed in what's happening on the field than off the field, and this is a very typical thing that is happening. And so, but it goes back to also what Doc said in terms of like the athletes want to go in there, right? And there's a lot of things that are happening there, but then also in order to utilize what the athletes are trying to accomplish, you need to have the staff and the people in those organizations to understand it, to be educated about it, and actually provide value in that space. And so it has to kind of like follow the same pace. And again, like the more people that comes, for instance, from the crypto space that wants to work in sports, is a great opportunity. I think it's an area that you guys need to explore, you know, for job opportunities, for going into the space and you know, be actively involved in, because they obviously are seeking people with this kind of knowledge and that's been in the space. And I mean, like, number one thing, if you have the passion for being in the sports, if that's what you do, and you also have passion for crypto and you have the knowledge for Web3 and NFTs, I mean, like, you're in a big, good position. And obviously Sporting Global are, you know, matching people in order to help making sure that, you know, both sports startups, sports organizations, people in the space, you know, can find each other. And obviously, you know, through the Sporting Global Academy, we're already doing, like I said, the course with Bollies on learn, apply, and earn NFTs in sports, where actually the certificate is an NFT. So it's a way for us to kind of, again, help educate the market, help understand what is required, and of course, learn the new generation that are coming up to keep an eye on this and be more aware, so they're in a better position that whenever they go into a big organization, stakeholder in the sport industry, they can bring immediate value. And so that's what it comes down to, value creation. And I just wanted to touch one thing as well about community, because I think this was very important. Both of you talked about this. And I see this in sports too, where obviously, you know, people talk a lot about the fans, right? And if there's one area that I think both probably the crypto world and also sports, general sports, can learn from, is the esports industry. So a lot of lessons to learn from the esports market, streamers, content creators, of how they're creating their community. So a lot of value creation there, and you see, you know, big brands as Face Clan, right, and others, where people are literally traveling, you know, to their events all over the world, watching them compete, and while, you know, traditional sports are struggling to get people into their stadiums, the esports teams are boosting their numbers. Of course, obviously the pandemic was challenging, but there's a lot of key lessons to learn from that. And I think, you know, any community-based project needs to keep an eye on what's happening there in the content esport creation space and take some key lessons from there, because it's definitely one of the best ways I've seen community building and how they, you know, interact with their organization, the athletes, the staff. It's at a different level, and hence extremely valuable thinking about moving forward, even for you guys, you know, and that might, you know, have these projects in base where I want to create my own NFT, I want to build my own community. Explore that market, you know, see what esports and content creators can learn and what you can learn from it, and utilize that as much as you can. Again, it goes both ways, you know, we got to learn from each other.
Another great insight from you. Ole, Tomáš, where is MetaCourt going to be in 1 year, and where are Ball is going to be in 1 year?
I hope we will be able to attack more Web 2 people, and I think this is also part of the development of crypto space, which is still relatively small and bubble, in my opinion. I think Metacourt and crypto space in general will mature more, and not because we want to mature, but I think regulations more and more regulations will come due to the fact what's going on, and you've seen what happened with FTX. This is not a sports example, but this is one of the examples where you don't have regulations, and then you have situations like what happened 2 days ago with one of the biggest exchanges. So I think regulations will come at some point, and it will be harder to push tokens on the market, including NFTs. And I think this will force space to be more mature, more organized. But if we want to grow, we need to also convince Web2 traditional people to join the space. And in my opinion, the traditional John Smith, they don't care about blockchain, they don't care about NFTs, they just want everything seamless and smooth with benefits. And if these NFTs will help them to get the product easier, faster, and in the more efficient way, then we will be able to convince Web2 space. So from the tech perspective, we also need to find solutions to onboard them to Web3, to make them work with Web3 in the most seamless way. And I hope for Bolis and for Metacourt, we will be doing our projects. In terms of Bolis, create the gaming platform, start also the new market. At the moment we are basketball, we are planning also for soccer. And for Metacourt, help other startups with our DAO Launchpad that we are creating with Header.
Amazing. And Doc, when we will be meeting here in 1 year time, what would you like to then say to the crowd? What do you think, or what do you envision your accomplishment will be? I mean, you and your project-wise.
Yes, in 1 year's time, I could see that my company, Decode, would have made a first good impression on the Web3 stage as well as the NFT space. We definitely want to be a source of education as well to the masses, because I think once people are educated and they understand exactly what this Web3 space is and what NFTs really are and how they could actually benefit them, I think that's when you're going to get a lot more people start onboarding more quickly and more seamlessly, basically. And also is to develop really good, efficient tech that kind of puts everything seamlessly, meaning giving the new fans out there the opportunity just to, sign up like they sign up for a Facebook account or Instagram or something like that. You want to have everything technical about Web3 done sort of almost automatically in the background. They don't even know what is happening on the platform. It's just like you don't know what an iPhone is and what it takes to operate it. You just know that you're signing onto Instagram. You don't care about all the different codes or whatever that's happening in the background. So the idea moving forward is to have new technology where people coming into Web3 finding that it's just as easy as Web2, and feel free to share that same experience with your friends, family, and loved ones, basically. So yeah.
Amazing, amazing. I would like to thank you guys to attend our panel. I wish you all the best. Come talk to us after this panel, and I would also like to thank my amazing panelists for this opportunity to be here and present this
Awesome.
topic
Thank you.
to us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.